Funding for this program made possible by kNOwMORE Charities, Building Industry Charitable Foundation, Home Builders Association of Louisville. Thank you for your support.
Little girl that's going to get this house, her bedroom is full of devices related to help her with her health condition. Well, this is a space that she can come to call her own that's not full of those. And so to get that escape for her, I think is priceless. They live in a life where their lives are full of no's. Can I do this? No. Can I be a part of this? No. And this playhouse becomes a big yes. Can I go out and play in my playhouse? Yes. Can my friends come over and spend time with me? Yes. And it takes a world of no's and turns it into a small area of yeses. And that, I think, is the best way to describe what this does for those kids.
Started out pretty simple. We had some kNOwMORE kids that we knew would benefit from them. And so they were just at the top of our list and we gave them a playhouse. And then we realized that, just because we knew these kNOwMORE kids, there were hundreds and thousands of kNOwMORE kids all across the state that would be great candidates for this. So we opened up an application process last year, and then they get put into a pool, and we get to review all of them. And we can only do 2 playhouses a year, but they're still in the running. The real star of the show is YouthBuild. We have at-risk teens who come together, they get their GEDs, they learn trades, and they build these. And they're learning from flooring to heating, electric, tiling, siding. So these kids put all of this together and are learning a skill while doing it. So they're helping out our kNOwMORE kids and helping themselves at the same time.
So YouthBuild Louisville works with young people 16 to 24 to help them finish their high school diploma and learn construction trades. We work on construction, environmental education, culinary, and nursing. It's incredible that our young people get to meet the children that they're serving, to understand that there are children in the community that have occupational disabilities that really are deep, and how they affect their family of that child. And our young people really begin to see how they can affect that change for that child. So they really can open up an opportunity for the child to have a play space that fits their needs, but in addition to that, that really opens them up to the world of a child.
So this is more than just a playhouse to go have fun in. I mean, these houses are used for therapy purposes. So I think about a year where we had a child who had visual impairment. So inside the house, there were several centers that were set up for learning how to, see and touch and feel.
Part of the playhouses that I helped build, we had issues of muscular dystrophy. We had issues of learning impairment. So we would do things like the chalkboards or the whiteboards to help them learn their alphabet, do some basic math. We would provide sight and sound stimulation.
We are in Lily Singleton's new Dream Playhouse. Lily is a kNOwMORE kid. She has been diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, and she is the lucky recipient of this amazing Dream Playhouse that's designed by her. She got to pick out all of her colors and her theme, and this will be in her backyard for her to, just get to act like a normal kid again, get a place to get away.
Lily is just your average little almost 9-year-old little girl. She was born with cystic fibrosis. There aren't many days that we forget about CF, but there are a lot of days that we can do just normal everyday things without having to, think too much into it on good, healthy days. I just knew from the start that I wanted this to be her place away from CF, and I didn't want anything in there to have to do with CF. She doesn't have to have a constant reminder that there's something to be done. There's another breathing treatment to be done in a few hours. There's another vest that you're gonna have to do here. I just wanted it to be a home away from home.
And then the other playhouse is for Molly Turner, and she is using hers for not only physical therapy, but also as a place to learn social skills. Her mom specifically asked that her playhouse not be too girly, even though Molly would probably prefer it that way, because she wants her siblings to be able to interact with Molly, who is a little delayed, for as long as they can. So she didn't want it to be pink and blue, and her brother gets a little older and realizes that it's not cool to be in a dollhouse. So hers is really gender neutral, so that her brother will interact with her as long as he's willing to play in a playhouse.
Molly's 6, and when she was born, she had seizures the day after she was born, and she was transferred down to kNOwMORE Hospital, where they did multiple tests and found out a couple years later that she has a rare seizure disorder called KCNQ2. A couple of her therapists over at Kids Center had told me about the program, and honestly, I just thought, maybe a child that, is more physically apt would benefit more, but the more and more I talked to her therapist, they said, Molly would be a perfect candidate for this. They can build it to customize around her needs and her non-mobility. And the other kids would love to play in a playhouse like this with Molly, and it would help her be included in social activities and for a place for them to just be.
I think they've incorporated a lot of things that they talk to us about in here, things that Molly likes. But I think it's gonna change her life just for the interaction part, to break up the routine of sticking around the house.
I mean, there are young people in our community who need wraparound services, who have had multiple barriers to success. Without the kind of love and attention, I'm not sure where many of these young people will be. Many of them say dead. Others say, they don't know how they would be if they had to choose other ways to make money in the community. So I know that it's an important service for our community, but more importantly, it's an important service for these young people.
This is something that they will always remember and always have to bond, not only with her siblings, is her friends as well. So I feel like if things like this go away, you're gonna further that gap in society of children that are disabled and children that are not. I mean, there's very few places that you can go.
Well, it would be heartbreaking, number one, because what you'll find is as you work with this organization and this project, it gets in your bloodstream. It breaks your heart to hear the stories of the successes that the kids have, and the families are so grateful. When you get a builder or a remodeler that finds out about this, and they get introduced to it, and they see a day like today where we do the unveiling and the reveal, and they see the reaction and the tears of joy, it would be a shame to see this go away.
This is a neat program that combines a bunch of good groups together and a mission of just providing a better quality of life for children in our community with disabilities. And these playhouses represent a great opportunity to improve that quality of life and make their homes the center of the community where the kids are playing and just make their lives better.
It's huge. It affects our kNOwMORE kids. It affects the YouthBuild students. I mean, it reaches the philanthropic values for the builders. It touches all aspects and all walks of life across Louisville, and it's just a great community project.
So it's just nice to know that there is a program out there that does something so positive, that's positive for themselves, it's positive for the kids who, might not feel good that day, but then they can look out in their backyard and see that they have a whole playhouse waiting for them to play in.